Hey everyone, I'm ArmorGaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Analysis. Up for analysis today is a water monster known as Frostwrath. No science can explain the phenomenon that Frostwrath is. He's entirely made of ice on the outside, but his core is 100% blue fire. Frostwrath by far has one of the most incredible monster designs in the whole entire game. Good job, Social Point. Frostwrath has a power of 3234, which isn't anywhere near to being the highest power for water monsters. This power actually puts Frostwrath in 11th place, and there's currently 16 legendary water monsters. His life, however, isn't necessarily too bad, 28,651. This puts Frostwrath in 5th place, tied with monsters like Kaolic and Varna and a few others. As for his speed, Frostwrath has a speed of 3,476, which is absolutely amazing. This makes him the second fastest water monster. This speed is 33 points below Blob and 11 points faster than Kaolic. So we have ourselves a new water monster with a pretty low power, a higher than average life, and an extremely amazing speed. Unfortunately for Frostwrath, he suffers from a bad trait. He has Energized. He starts off the game with 20% extra energy. And the reason this is particularly bad is because this counteracts his amazing speed. So yes, Frostwrath can go before every other Deny monster. He can go before any other water monster besides Blob. The problem is that most water Deny monsters are immune to freeze. So even when Frostwrath doesn't AoE freeze, it doesn't matter because the enemy monster is still going to get a turn in if he has a Deny monster with immunity to freeze. Now of course, if you're going up against someone like Sphereness, Frostbite, Varna, or even General Thetis, then Frostwrath can be an optimal choice. But anyways, let's look at Frostwrath's skills. For the default skills, we have Frosted Strike and Chilled Blast. As for his special, we have Piercing Blizzard. Deals very heavy water damage to all enemies, may freeze all targets, removes 50% of stamina from all targets. And this is an absolutely amazing special. The AoE freeze is really nice, and the energy drain is extremely nice because you're going to see that this monster has a lot of stamina leak skills and a lot of stamina drain skills. So Frostwrath's regular skills really work in harmony with his ultimate skill, Piercing Blizzard. As for his skills group 1 skill, we have Icicle Fangs, Frost Wound, Glacier Impact, and of all of skills group 1, there's nothing too important to discuss, so we're going to move on to skills group 2. Chilling Sap deals moderate special damage, removes 50% of stamina from target, requires cooldown. This skill targets a single enemy, dealing 40 damage, costing 28 stamina, having a 2-turn cooldown, and it removes 50% from their stamina, which if you're targeting a legendary monster, that's equivalent to 70 stamina. This is a skill you might potentially want to run. Next we have Cold Fusion, deals low special damage to all enemies, applies stamina leak to all targets, applies stamina regeneration to all allies, requires cooldown. So it's an AoE that deals 20 damage, costs 39 stamina, has a 3-turn cooldown. It gives the whole enemy team stamina leak while giving your whole team energy regeneration. Think of this as an upgraded version of Varna's skill. Varna has an AoE stamina leak that gives himself stamina regeneration, while Frostwrath takes it one step further and gives his whole team stamina regeneration. Now stamina leak will remove 15% of the enemy's stamina for the following 3 turns, and 15% of your typical legendary monster, that's 20 stamina every turn. As for your team recovering 20% of your stamina, you're going to be recovering 27 stamina. At least that's what the game gives you. And Cold Fusion is another skill you may or may not want to run. The following skill is called Arctic Crash. Deals moderate damage, 50% chance of freezing target, 50% chance of dazing target, requires cooldown. You target a single enemy, you deal 45 damage, it costs 27 stamina, it has a 1-turn cooldown, and you have a 50% chance to freeze and daze. I am not a big fan of any skill that's 50% chance to do anything, so I really wouldn't recommend this skill. So from skills group 2, 2 noteworthy skills are Chilling Zap and Cold Fusion. Now let's move on to skills group 3. We start things off with Shivering Bite. Deals moderate water damage, may freeze target, requires cooldown. This skill targets a single enemy, deals 45 damage, costs 28 stamina, has a 1-turn cooldown, and it's just a basic single free skill. This skill I would recommend running. In terms of Team Wars, again, it won't help you too much considering there are lots of water monsters that are immune to being frozen. Nonetheless, this is a great skill to use against the enemy attacker. We also have a skill called Icy Bolt. Deals low special damage to all enemies, removes 25% of stamina from all targets, applies stamina leak to all targets, requires cooldown. So this is an AoE that deals 20 damage, costs 39 stamina, has a 3-turn cooldown. It's very similar to the skill from skills group 2, except instead of giving your team stamina regeneration, it takes away 25% of stamina from the enemy targets. Now removing 25% of stamina from your typical legendary monster is equivalent to 35 stamina. This is a skill you may or may not want to run. And the final skill from skills group 3, and the skill I can say with 100% certainty that you should run, is Polar Beam. Deals low water damage to all enemies, may freeze all targets, applies stamina leak to all targets, requires cooldown. It's another AoE, this time it's water based, it deals 25 damage, costs 39 stamina, has a higher cooldown, it's a 4-turn cooldown, and this is an AoE freeze as well as an AoE stamina leak. And Polar Beam is by far Frostwrath's best skill. You freeze all of the enemy monsters, thus denying them for 1 turn, at the same time giving stamina leak, meaning they're going to lose 20 stamina points. So if you start the game off with Polar Beam, which you should, you're going to freeze all of the enemy monsters and give them stamina leak, and then you follow that off with Icy Bolt, Well, let's take a look at what happens. With AoE freeze, you're going to deny all of the enemy monsters for one turn. At the same time, you're going to give them stamina leak, which means when it's their turn, they're going to be frozen and lose 20 stamina points. So your typical legendary monster starts off with 140 stamina points. They're going to lose 20, which will leave them at 120 stamina points. On your following turn with Frostwrath, you're going to use Icy Bolt. Icy Bolt will reduce the enemy monster stamina by an initial 25%, which is equal to 35 points, which will leave them at 85 stamina points. And when it's their turn again, they're going to lose another 15% stamina due to stamina leak, which by the way will be refreshed. Nonetheless, they're going to be down to 65 stamina points, which means the enemy monsters are still going to be left with enough stamina to get 1 or 2 attacks in. So unfortunately for Frostwrath, that isn't necessarily good. And again, when we think about this in the context of Team Wars, it sucks that Frostwrath isn't immune to freeze. Now let's take a look at a different calculation really quick. Let's look at Polar Beam followed up with Chilling Zap. If you do Polar Beam on an enemy monster, it's going to be frozen and stamina leak, which basically means the stamina is down to 120. If you follow that up with Chilling Zap, it's going to drain 70 stamina points, leaving the enemy monster at 50 stamina points. When it's that monster's turn again, it's going to lose an additional 20 stamina points, thus leaving it with 30 stamina points. Now 30 stamina points for your average monster, that's not enough to do an AoE skill, but that's still enough stamina points to do a single target skill. So again, Frostwrath can't successfully deny monster for 2 turns. Now with that being said, let's talk about different skill sets for this monster. You definitely want to run Polar Beam, and you definitely want to run Chilling Zap. After that, I would say it's your choice to do Shivering Bite, Icy Bolt, or Cold Fusion, with my preference being all of skills group 3, Shivering Bite, Polar Beam, Icy Bolt, and Chilling Zap. The reason I'm not particularly too fond of Cold Fusion is because although energy regeneration is a nice ability to give your teammates, I don't think it's going to be needed in an actual battle. I think it's more advantageous to take advantage of Frostwrath's stamina leak abilities, so you want to run skills that drain even more stamina, and Shivering Bite is just to have that one cooldown free skill in case you need it. And I usually don't recommend running 3 AoE skills because for me I find it such a waste. If you were to start off the game with Polar Beam and follow it up with Icy Bolts, if on your 3rd turn with Frostwrath there are still 3 enemy monsters alive, then you gotta get yourself a new attacker. But again, the only 2 skills I can say that are definitely worth using are Polar Beam and Chilling Zap. Feel free to pick your 2 favorites of Shivering Bite, Icy Bolt, and Cold Fusion. As for what runes to use on this monster, he is of course a deny monster, so you want to go all speed runes. Now as far as how good is this monster in Team Wars, I'm actually going to go ahead and say he's not that very good, and it all has to do with him not being immune to freeze, which really sucks. And yes, we can look at another monster who isn't immune to freeze who also has energized Frostbite and say, well, why is he so good but not Frostwrath? The problem with Frostwrath is that he can't successfully deny a water monster because they're immune to freeze, and the only deny skill that Frostwrath has is his freeze skill. Frostbite on the other hand has a 100% stamina drain. Heck, he has 2 100% stamina drain skills, so he's on a different level. Frostwrath unfortunately can't do that. Now I did mention early on there are certain monsters that if the enemy has on defense, you can definitely use Frostwrath. Examples of that are monsters that aren't immune to freeze. If the enemy has a Varna on defense, a Sphereness, a Frostbite, all of those monsters are slower than Frostwrath and aren't immune to freeze, so you can totally start off the game with AoE freeze and you're good to go. However, if for defense the enemy has Kale Lick or Cabinfish, then you're gonna have to find yourself another water monster to use. And with all that being said, that is gonna conclude my analysis on Frostwrath. Overall, I really do like this monster. I think he has one of the most amazing designs in the game, but now I want to hear from all of you. What do you guys think about Frostwrath? Do you think he's worth getting? Do you think he has the potential to be one of the top water monsters, or do you think he's not that good? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and also be sure to let me know who you want me to analyze next. With all that being said, I hope everyone has a great day or a great night. Remember to dream big and pursue your passions.